My name's Lex, and this is the painting we're doing this week of a cat, and just the face in acrylic. And I painted on this canvas paper. It's nice to be able to have the canvas pad. You can paint in it and then just store it like that. So I cut this in half. It's a half a sheet, but you can use the whole sheet. The canvas paper we're using this week, I cut it in half so you didn't have to use a full sheet, but it's nice texture on it for the acrylic. It's let's see, 9 by 12. And then for the brushes, we're using this very nice detail brush. This is like an in-between brush that holds a good deal of paint, and a flat brush. The colors we're using: Hooker's Green, Cadmium Red, Cadmium Yellow, Raw Sienna, Payne's Gray, that's my favorite for a dark, the bright, this is a bright aqua green, and the titanium white for the golden. It's a thick bodied. Those are the colors this week. I don't use pencil to sketch in my work, so we're going to use this the Hooker's Green. So I'm just going to put the top of the head in and the ears. This will all be covered with the color that we'll put on top of it. Put the ear out like this. Kind of angles in. Like that. Angles in a little bit. So this line coming in like that. Same here. A little bit wider. Comes in, circles around like this, and this widens out right in here. Same with this, widens out here and goes like that. So this is the top of the head is behind the ears, so that gives you an indication that these would be a little bit more forward. And let's put in a little light line for where the eyes will go. That'll all go away. All this will go away. It just helps put the paper together. And then just put a little line in there for where the eyes will go. Set them about that far apart, which is almost like one eye apart. Something like that. I searched on Pexels. Pexels is a good source material. It's free online. For a green-eyed cat. That's what I wanted to paint. So that's what I put into the search bar, green-eyed cat. And that will give you any source that you need for free. I will put the person that took this picture of this cat in the description and a link for where you can find it. So you can have it for yourself to paint. So I'm just lightly putting in where the nose will go. A light shape of it. Splitting it in the center because it's equal here. And then a very short part between here and here for the mouth. And he's pretty like fluffy. So we're gonna just bring him out a little bit. Just doing the face today, no body. Just the face. Putting that out like that. I bet you've never seen a green cat. Okay. Just lightly put this in here. The white of the paper we won't use. This is a canvas paper. We're going to use the white that I introduced. So I'm just moving the white around here first to put in my white areas and blocking that in quickly. You can see how quickly you can work with acrylic. It just moves easily with enough water. You can leave some thickness to the paint too, which is very cool. Gives you a nice texture. I like it. It's my favorite medium is acrylic. I really like it a lot. I did murals. That was my part of my career. I did some private teaching, but on the most part I was a mural artist and faux finisher for years. I worked for designers in private homes and businesses and restaurants and a couple children's museums. A very large mural in Hartford that was not 14, that was, it lasted 14 years, I should say. And it was half a city block. And it depicted Hartford. That was in the early 90s when I was doing a lot of work in Hartford, restaurants and art centers and so forth. I did a lot of artwork for them. Okay, so we got the white in pretty good. And then I think I'll bring a little bit more fluffiness over to here. Now we're gonna go and take what's over here in the white. We'll just move this a little bit here and get the raw sienna. And I'm gonna base coat right in here because the Payne's gray will go over in areas. We're not gonna paint in every single piece of fur in terms of like line work. We'll do some, but not, just patches of color will bring the cat together. Just have to have enough water to move the paint. Not too little. This isn't a watercolor, but you could do it in washes as well. And I want it to be soft, so I'm gonna take this out here. The green will go away. That was just for me to block it in for myself. Let's move it out here. Grabbing that. The white helps bring in a lighter tone. Okay. And you could see the brush bring, like even just going like that, and give you that little soft furry look. I need a little bit more color. I'm gonna bring it up here, even though this is gonna have a lot of the Payne's gray. I still want it up there because when I bring the color down, I'm not having to go back and bring color back into it. So it's already there as my base coat. And I'm leaving this marking here because the cat has white there. Bring it up to here. Grab a little bit of white there. Just want to have a little choice of colors right in here. You know, I'm also painting more realistic than I normally do because I'm giving you a lesson, but I would also do it more interpretive, which I'm going to do here, where I'm going to just inference that this is fur by carrying this way and just having these chunks come down like that. You can tell that it's soft fur. Bring this around his eye. This paper is pretty good. Only the second time using it. Putting a fair amount of paint on it. And this would act well. It'll probably dry a lot less bulkily. But this would act well for you if you have a problem with storage. It's very affordable. Buying canvas after canvas and having nowhere to store them becomes a problem if you don't have a lot of storage. This way you could keep it in the pad, or you could take it out, you could frame it yourself. You could just have it out and be able to place it somewhere where you could store it a lot easier than a canvas. So those are just my choices for me. But if you have a lot of storage area, canvas works nicely. I also work on wood, which I prefer working on, but this works nicely. I'm impressed with how well it takes the paint. It's meant for acrylic mostly. You could use this with watercolor. I did use it last week. I wasn't thrilled with it, but because it's got more texture on it, I like a little bit more a soft texture for acrylic. I mean watercolor. Bring that down like that. I might do a little wash in the back to set him up a little bit like that. So anyhow, that's good. There. Let's bring this eye wash around like this. Now he has green eyes, and it's purposely because I did look for a cat with green eyes because I like the way cats look when they have green eyes. Okay. Wash that brush out. I'm going to grab some Payne's gray and some of this white. I don't want to contaminate that too much. And I'm going to put the first coat in, and then I'll go on top of it because this has to be very dark. But I just wanted to bring this in. And you can see how fast you can work with acrylic. And bring a little bit in here too. I'll bring the raw sienna in too, but I can also bring it on top of this. I'm just bringing this wash in to fill in his ears. Same on this side. No pink. No pink in these ears. He's not a light colored cat. I do like when you can see light through cat's ears, although you can still see a little bit, not much. But when cats sit in the light and you can see through them, I really love that look. That pinky, creamy color, it looks pretty. I'm gonna bring more of this Payne's gray in. And then later I'll start bringing in the darker colors. I'm just putting blocks of color in. So when I go paint the fur in, I need different tones. I don't want to have it all one tone. Just makes it more interesting. Because you could see, I'll take this Payne's gray just to show you, because I'm pretty much blocked everything in. I have to do the eyes, but so when we go in here, you get your darkest darks. Pull them down. Where you could trap a little bit of the light in there with the other color, so it's nice to have that you pick out colors and you're going to leave some of that in there. Now I'm just putting this in now as blocks of color, but we'll use a detail brush and put more of the fur coming around. I just don't want to overdo it. Just bring this down like this, start getting the eye coming in. Pulling this outward like that for the fur. Again, trapping in some of that raw sienna. I want to work the whole painting. I don't want to just finish one thing to completion. I want to kind of work the entire painting. Still only using this one brush. It's like a flat brush to lay in the color. My light is changing. The sun is coming and going, and it's very early in the morning. It's only like 10 o'clock. But I guess maybe we're having a cloudy day, or maybe it's just a cloud rolling in. I like to use sunlight to paint in. I do have studio lights, though mine just broke, so I am using the light of the window to record, which is nice because you're seeing the true light to paint by. I introduced this stripe here, and same here on this side, and it kind of comes around like this as well. And comes around like this, so just lay in that. I think we have a good deal laid out for now, and then we'll go back and start putting in me just get rid of some of this here. You can see the green going away. I could have used any of the other colors, but I kind of want to show you how when you put down a color just to sketch with, because I didn't use the pencil, when you put graphite on there, it gives like a little residue you don't want to compete with. Now that needs to be softer, but I'm just putting that there for now. You can see now pretty much the green is gone. Get this bend here. Make sure I have that angle properly on the ear. Okay. All right, I think this is good for now to have laid it all out. Paint this hooker's green, put it over here. There's some white there. Grab this white from here. And a little of the cad yellow. That's pretty much the only reason why I wanted the cadmium yellow out, was to work on the eye. Start putting it in. I need a little water. And I also brought in this, which is a bright green, the bright aqua green. And that's just gonna go around a little bit of his eye. So I brought that in just for that purpose only. Just add a little extra detail. I'm going to put that black part in, but I'm just going to outline it right by leaving it, the piece right there. It's either the iris or a pupil. Now I start putting in the first beginnings of the color of the eye. I want more white. What's good about acrylic, you go right over it. You don't like something, you just paint right over it. You can straighten things out quite quickly. Okay, put that part in there. And you can add highlights and so forth. So there are really redeeming qualities about acrylic. Now this is not going to stay this light. I'm just putting it in for now. Get a little bit of that yellow. Okay, now I'm going to go for the for the Payne's gray. Take some of that paint. I'm going to put the highlight on top later, so I'm going to just go and put this in. You don't have to leave the highlight like you would on a watercolor or a pencil or micron pen or another. You can paint right over it. So I'm going to paint this shape right in. It looks like a little bit of a football. It's wider though right here. It's really wide, I guess. It's not as pointy. It's very wide there. Same here. I've seen some cats that have like little thin pupils, and I don't think they look as, I think the light has hit them. Somebody took a picture and their eye closed. But I like when they have these really, or maybe this is when you took the picture and the eye opened. But I prefer this look. Let's get the shape coming along. That's the beginning. It's good. I'm going to bring that around in a minute. Just shaping the eye itself. That works for now. Now what I want to do is move into the nose. I didn't put that in yet. And I don't want to overwork things and not have even addressed that. So I'm going to grab a little white here, put that to the side. And a little Cad Red. Put the nose in. The nose has like a white on one side, but I'm just going to even it out. Even though the picture says one thing, I'm going to put it in my way, the way I want to do it. Oh, maybe I'll put it in the way it is. We'll see how it looks. So I'm just following shapes. When I paint, I just look for shapes. It kind of widens and comes down like this. And I'll add a little bit more white to that, soften that. Take that just a little bit underneath here. Grab a little bit of that white. So I'm just making a tone of the gray, the Payne's gray coming this way onto the little area with his mouth. Because I put the white down already, I'm all set in terms of not having to go back and do it because I put a nice coat of white on there. You can use acrylic in like a wash down. As you can see, it's very light and I added the white to it to define areas. Doesn't have to be really intense. You can see how dark this is, but I'm not making it super dark over here. I'm just using the color, but using the white to tone it down a little bit. Now I do want to go in there using a little bit darker here and define this area a little bit. But softly though, I don't want to go really intense. It's just really nice. You can lightly do it. You're not trying to, well you could be, I'm not a photorealist, so I was just going to say, you're not trying to duplicate the photograph, you're doing an interpretation of it. But if you're a photorealist, you might want to interpret it. I tried that for a while when I was younger, like try to get something as photorealistic, and it's just not my thing. I like to interpret. My palette is very bright, so this is more realistic for me to paint as I see, but I normally paint in a very bright palette and really intense patterns and so forth, but I can do almost any style. I just adapt to whatever I'm doing. Start bringing in some of these markings for the cat. We'll go back to the eye in a minute. Just want to do more work on the painting itself. Like maybe making this a little bit more intense here. So putting these markings will help bring all this up at a certain level. Just going to bring in Payne's gray all the way, the intensity of its color. So I have all these shades of the Payne's gray. I'm just going to now bring this in really intense. And then I'll take the thin brush and bring in some of the little hair work for the fur. That way you have choices. You leave yourself where light would come in from a source of light, or it's just not one look of you painting like it all in a very dark color. You want to add tone and values of different, you know, you can see this is light right now, but then I'll bring it in. This won't show as much because the cat is a darker cat, but I wanted it underneath it because there are going to be areas where the striping goes on top of that lighter color. And the cat can just sit here and still be a finished painting when we're done, because we're handling it in such a way that it appears that way. And for me, like, I don't work in oil, so I don't really know how oil, you pull off oil in that way. But when you pull off an acrylic, it does have that it sits nicely as a finished piece, no matter how small it is. You can see all the green is going away. Now I'm going to come in here. I might add a little pink in here in a minute, but I'm going to come in here and start adding another tone. So we have a lighter tone here, and then we're going to come in with a mid-tone. Just adding it here and there. I'm going to take that raw sienna and bring it here, and a little Payne's gray, and give myself a color to outline the ear with. So it's not as dark as the black, or the Payne's gray, but it gives me another intensity. And I'm bringing that forward here. A little bit in the background here as well, because I'm going to bring hair on top of here. Because this is a dark thing, I can bring white, use the white and some gray, bring the fur on top of this. So that's why I want to introduce some other color, so when I do that, I have something for it to sit on. Yeah, and bring a little cadmium red in here. See that cadmium red brightens this area. And smooth it. Bring this in here like that. I might bring a little cadmium yellow in there too. Give it a little brightness. Yeah, that's nice. Just a nice little tone there. I'm just going to bring the whole color into there. I don't really need that gray there anymore. But it did act as a nice background so that I wasn't competing with white. So that's pretty good for now, and then I'll do the fur on top of that. Bring that right over there. You know, acrylic doesn't have to be expensive for paints. You can find go to art stores and look around at the different pricing. But Liquitex has a student grade, which they work just as good as any of the other ones. They all have different grades for painting. And, acrylic does last a long time, as long as you make sure you cover it. Because if you leave it exposed to the air, it would all dried out really quickly, so you don't want to do that. Just make sure the cap is on, or the lid is on, so that you're not going to dry it out. I'm going to add a little Cad Red in here too. All right. Just bring more of this color in here. I think what I want to do is take a little bit of this white, bring it here, give myself a little bit a darker tone of that, bring it right in here. Bring some Payne's gray up into that color. There we have a choice here now. That's better. Now the cat has a marking of white in here, so I'm not going to really bring this too far down because I want it to remain still dark. Okay, that looks good. Bring some over here. Starts to, now you can see that I'm moving the whole picture at once. I'm not just finishing one area. Like if I was to get focused only on the eye and finish that to completion, then I go back and forth, you know, I go all the way around. That way you just see things more clearly if you do that like that. It's less frustrating too. I'm going to paint this direction too to bring the fur coming above the eye. That helps too to define space and the actual fur on the painting. You might decide you just want the blocks of color and no line work when you're done, and you like it like that, which is fine too. You don't necessarily have to define everything by like the line and the fur. Just take time to block it in, the colors in properly though. Grab more of this color. I'll go back to the eye in a minute. I just want to finish blacking this in. You can see the paper is starting to settle down. All the extra water on it is being absorbed into the fiber. Bring a little bit over here. Just a little bit on the side here. I don't want to get too carried away because we already know that the fur comes over here like that. I kind of want to just leave it like soft. Okay. All right, let's work on the eyes again, and then we'll come back again and finish this. I do want to come in here and grab a little of this white and stick it over here. I want to paint that out, that green. do a, I don't want that green in there on the top part, so I'm going to take this and a little bit of Payne's gray, and a little of this Cad red, maybe a little bit more. Let's see how it looks to paint that out. Maybe do like a background wash, just a light wash in the back. Take that flat brush. The reason why I did that is I wanted to make this really fade away, and I didn't want to get really a bright color or introduce something really dark to compete against this. But actually, when I go to put the fur on the back, will act nicely as a background. Let's bring this in. So I'll fade this out. Just bring that around, and you don't have to bring. I'll just take it over to this way. So it does add as a nice little happy mistake there. Come around here like that. I'll just bring this up to the top of the paper. This sort of just finishes off that. Let's just bring that wash over this way too. Okay. All right, I just need a little bit more off here too. This part here, I'm just gonna do a little bit of a wash. Actually pick up a little bit of this Payne's gray and oops, that's not what I wanted to do. And just wash it a little bit, because you don't want this pure white here. You want a little bit of a light tone. Same here. All right, let's work on those eyes. Now that I got that, one more thing. I don't like the way that looks. Tougher to do. And I'll grab this aqua green. Aqua blue, is it green? Yeah, aqua green. I'm gonna circle around here. Yeah, see, that gives it a nice glow. But I need to go right up to the black. I mean, to the Payne's gray. Might have to get more of that. I'm going to make a little halo around that color. Add a little white to that. I might have to get more. Seems like it's enough. I think it's good enough, that color. That's all I wanted from that. But, the Cad Yellow. Get that there. Add a little white to that. I might have to get more. Seems like it's enough. think it's good enough, that color. That's all I wanted from that. But now I'm going to add the Cad Yellow. Get that there. Cadmium Yellow, Cadmium Red, any of the cadmiums are very intense colors. I don't want too much water there either. Bring that a little bit brighter. Yeah, see, that's what I want. It was a little bit brighter, not white. I want the yellow. Okay. Right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna still bring a little of the cadmium while it's still wet. Get that cadmium green in there. I mean the hooker's green in here. Bring this over like this. Because I want the intensity to be on the top, like an intense, and pull into that. Then I'm going to take, oh, we're out of the red. Oh, I know I have enough. Go like this and add it to here. Oops, I think the cadmium, let's put those together. And add a little on the top. It's a little wet, I should wait, because I really want this to remain the color that it is and not like go away into the paint, other paints. That gives that cat look, where they have that like marble. Okay, let's let that dry, because I want to put the, well, maybe I'm curious as how it looks with the highlights. One right here, one right here. That really makes his eyes pop. There's a really faded one, so I'm going to drop a little paint off there and put a little faded one right here. Yep, there. And then one right over here. There. So you don't need a lot. You notice, look how tiny those dots are. And then it just brightens the eye up. It's, you know, it's amazing how those highlights, and also amazing what acrylics do. Okay, I'm just going to add a little white in here on top of that, the colors that we put in. I want that really solid, so I'm going to take it like this, blend it out. Let's do some detailing now. The eyes are pretty good. They're not done yet, but they're pretty good. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to take the detail brush and use some of the white and push this down. There's a lot of white in here. I want to get the brush loaded enough with it, so sort of grab the paint and I'm going to spin it around a little bit because I don't want too much on. There we go. Put little lines in here. And on the ear, because we already have that, I'm going to pull the hairs out like this. You can see that they're not completely filling in the full ear. That nice softness. And then I'll add the Payne's gray as well. So that will give a nice second dimension. And maybe also some burnt sienna or the raw sienna. Here, put the white in here. And that breaks up that ear as well. Gives it the needed fur there. And I'm going to also use that white while we have it. Come out like this, pull some lines, make sure I have enough water. I'm not going to put a lot of lines, just enough, because I'm going to do some Payne's gray. But I do like the fact that the fur, and I'm bringing it in two different directions, a few different directions. So now I'm going to go for some water and using the Payne's gray, because this is going to be the bulk of the fur. I am going to add the full depth of the collar, like full strength coming here as well, because the markings are really intense right here. Getting a little bit more water. Bring this down. Put this back here because the ears. Let's define the ear a little better too. Let me outline that. And just sort of drop it in here, there. Put it in forward, and then just I'm letting it get caught in the fur. I'm gonna take that and move some line work this way. And let's put some coming this way as well. Oh, I need more water. Move around the painting as well. I'm getting a little caught up in this area. Let's move around. And this pretty much, I'll do a little bit more work, but this, you get the idea that that's fur. This marking comes like this. It's very intense. Same here, I didn't even notice that when I was looking at that. You could take a break too and come back and look at your work. Missing things, like I didn't even see that when I was looking at the painting, to do the painting. I should have seen it. It's very, it's intense. Makes the whole cat. Outline the ear here. A little fur here coming off the ear. And I'm going to outline again on this side. slightly bring this a little darker in here. Yeah, that really needed a little bit more intense color. Okay, let's go back here. The color of the cat is not this light color. It has some of the light tones coming through it, but it has a lot of the dark as well. So I'm sort of doing a combination between the washes and line work. Bring this like eyebrow area in. These little markings, I want to tighten this up a bit and make this a little darker in here. You can still see the color coming through it, which is nice too. And I'm finishing up the markings on it, the forehead, or the head, I don't know if that's the forehead, the top of the head. And bringing a lot of the Payne's gray up here, the full color. What I want to do is take a little bit of that and make these little tiny fur, little tiny marks of like hair, very soft. Pull this coming out like this too. And same on this side. I put in some things, extra things, and I kind of washed out this piece a little bit just because I want the cat to be the more important part of the painting. Let's move this way. Just trying to finish up a little bit of the eye. And once we get the eye down, I think we're pretty much ready to finish. I might take a break though to come back and look at it. I did wash a little bit of color into the ears. And I'm going to do a little bit more work on this side. Just washing a little bit of color up into the ear. and along the edge here. Yeah, so I'm going to take a little bit of a break and I'll be back. Just putting in some whiskers. I'm lightly getting the paint, and then I just pull them like this, very lightly in different directions. What I did is I put these little tiny dots in and then pull, like put these like that, came around here like this, and then pull the hair from there. You can pull a few from the bottom too, very light. You're not trying to get them too dark. Well, that's the painting this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next week on Thursdays, where I teach a lesson, mostly beginners, and this is an acrylic. Like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye now.